Welcome to Bridget's She Shed. I'm Bridget, and today is Sunday, May 7th, and 2023, and it is a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in southeastern Arizona. Well, it's a celebration. Yes, it is. Well, what are we celebrating? Well, this past week on May 4th was the podcast's 1 year podiversary or anniversary. I don't know if podiversary is a word, but I like it. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been viewing my channel, subscribing to my channel, liking my channel, commenting on my channel. I never expected any of this when I started this whole thing a year ago, but you all give me so much encouragement and inspirations that I just love doing this, sharing my little portion of the internet with you. So thank you so very, very much for coming to my channel. I really, really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Okay, what else are we celebrating? Well, on yesterday, Saturday, May 6th, was the running of the Kentucky Derby. Yes. Another fun fact about me is that I love hats. I have an array of hats. Almost as much yarn. So there you go. But celebrating the, I don't know who won. I don't care, but we're celebrating. Then the last thing that I wanted to celebrate, it's also happened on yesterday, May 6th, was the coronation of King Charles III. I don't know a whole lot about the whole British monarchy, how all of that goes, but I do know that this is something that has been long-standing and is full of tradition, and I love tradition and I love pageantry, so I just wanted to give a celebration to that. And one thing that really astonished me is that my mom, who's 91 years old, stayed up got up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the coronation. And she said to me later on yesterday when I spoke with her, I says, "Mom, aren't you tired?" And she goes, No, I'm excited. She goes, what a privilege it has been, because I'm 91 years old. She says, and I watched in 1953 when Queen Elizabeth had her coronation. I watched the funeral of Queen Elizabeth, and now I get to see King Charles III being crowned. I've got to see that all in my lifetime. So she says, so no, I'm not tired. I'm excited. She was up drinking tea and shortbreads, since we don't have English tea cakes, I don't think, here. But she really enjoyed it. So to all of my friends across the pond and viewers across the pond, and those of you that are actually here in the United States as well, I want to celebrate King Charles III. I want to celebrate the Kentucky Derby winner. And most of all, I want to celebrate, woo-woo! It's a celebration. 1 year anniversary of Bridget's She Shed on YouTube. And it's because of you all that it's here. So thank you. Grab your sip in a toast. I have ginger ale. You get whatever you want to sip on. And cheers. Okay. All right, let's get to it. So what do we have? I do not have any finished objects this week. I've been working on a couple of test knits, and I have a partially finished object, which I call a PFO. Let's start with that, okay? So the PFO that I have is, here it is. Hold on, let me grab it. I showed this to you last week. I was just starting it. It is the Oh Hello Shorty sock by Deb Buckingham. And I showed that to you last week. And so now I have one sock completed. There it is. Isn't she lovely? I believe when I showed it to you last week, I think I was still working on the foot. I don't believe it was finished. But it's a very, very easy pattern. A 2x2 rib. I did modify and I did a twisted rib, a twisted knit through the back loop on my knits, and a heel flap. Has a heel flap and gusset. I believe this is a eye of partridge heel flap and gusset, and then this beautiful texture stitch. Very, very beginner friendly. And a round toe. The markers here on the back is a little trick that I use. And then I see several other knitters are also using this same technique to help me with counting my rows. So when I go to make the second sock, I can make sure that the I have the right number of rows for my foot. And I place my markers at every 10, not rows, rounds, at every 10 rounds. But this is a great sock. It works up really fast because it's a shorty. And the pattern is very, very easy to follow. I had no problems with it at all. The yarn that I'm using, I'm just so in love with it. It is so squishy. The yarn is from Rose Hill Yarns, and the dyer's name is Robin. And it was a sock set that came, and it's called Blackberry Macaron. I think I mispronounced it last week. And as you know, purple is my favorite color, along with purple's first cousin, pink. And just an off-color, off-white, creamy color for the mini. And sorry about that, runaway yarn ball. Let me see, I do have the tag. And again, Rose Hills Yarns, and it's 463 yards, 100 grand skein. The mini is 92 yards, and the yarn is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. Blackberry macaron. And I guess macarons, it's like a little cookie dessert. I've never had a macaron, so I'll have to, I'm not a big sweet eater, but I'll have to check that out. And the cuff and toe was done with Cloudborn. This is called Lavender Heather. This is Cloudborn's Super Sock Highland Twist. And Cloudborn, they no longer make Cloudborn, although you can find it on like Etsy or eBay, or maybe, yeah, if you search the internet you might be able to find some. But I really like it, and I'm so sad that they don't produce yarn anymore. But here it is, Cloudborn. And the color was Lavender Heather. And it was 178 yards. 80% superwash fine Highland wool, 20% polyamide, which is like a nylon. So that is my partial finished object or PFO. Okay. So my next two are actually test knits. One I showed you last week I started, and that was the Monstera. The Monstera Socs by Melia Knits. Oh, I forgot to say, everything that I discussed here and how to contact me, I will put in the description below the video. You either click on the word that says more, or you may have an actual drop down arrow, but everything will be there. If there's something that I discuss here that I accidentally leave out, please just contact me and I'll make sure to get you that information and update the video. Okay? All right. So this one I know I only had halfway done, and now here's the one sock. I had to have one sock done by the 25th of May. So I'm ahead of schedule. Isn't it beautiful? Monstera is that plant that has the great big leaves. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. And had made a goal for myself this year to learn color work. So I've been working with small circumferences, starting with socks. And these have not been blocked yet. So this will be blocked out. I've just slit them on the blocker. And so this is, I've lost count so far this year for color work. I think maybe my 4th pair of color work. But the pattern, you're going to love when the pattern comes out. I believe it's supposed to have a June release. Very, very easy to follow. I loved it. It has a slip stitch heel, cuff and heel. My favorite heel to do is a short row heel. So I usually do the shadow wrap short row heel for me, but I wanted, since this was a test knit, I wanted to follow the pattern, and it came out beautifully. And if you can see, the yarn has some sparkle in it. This yarn does have some stellina in it, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And then you have a round toe. So I went stash diving, deep stash diving for this. And the main color is this beautiful gold. Oh, gold, my goodness. I'm beginning to wonder if there's something in that ginger ale. It's this beautiful green with stellina, silver sparkles. There, the light's catching it there. And I've been waiting for quite a while to try to figure out what I was going to make with this. And I started a pair of socks with it once before, and I just didn't like it. And I frogged it. Frog meaning I ripped it out. Frog, rip it. When you rip something out, rip it, like sound that a frog makes. So I'm so happy that I said, oh, let me try this for this pattern. And it worked out just fine. And this is from also another company that's not in business anymore. They were a box subscription, yarn subscription company called Knitcrate. And this yarn was called Vidalana. And it was their Vidalana Shimmer in the colorway Tangles. And it's 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 10% stellino. There was 399 yards on here and 100 grams. And then I paired it with some undyed bare yarn that I had, that I got from Wool to Die For. This is just a standard sock base, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It is their platinum sock base by Wool to Die For. I dabble in dyeing. I think I mentioned it last week. I use food coloring to dye, and I dye outside. I don't like to use the ones with the acid and all of that, because you need to have a respirator and all of that, and I worry about with my breathing and things of that nature. So I just do food coloring, and I've received some really pretty colors. So I'm going to start dabbling in natural dyes using onion skins and avocado skin peels, the skins, and the pit. So I was at the market. I know I'm digressing. I was at the market the other day with the hubs, and in the produce department, they were cleaning up the produce, and they were doing the onions, and they were peeling some of the old skins off of the onions to make them look all pretty. And so the hub says to the produce lady, he says, "Hey," because she was throwing the skins in this box. He says, "What are you going to do with those skins?" And she says, "Well, we have a compost bin out back that, we'll throw the skins in." He says, "Well, you know what? My wife has a yarn project that she's working on. Is it possible that, we could buy those skeins?" And she goes, "Buy those skins?" And she says, "Oh no, you don't have to pay for them. I'll just give you a bag of them, and you can just have this whole box full." So I got a whole box full of yellow onion skins and some red onion skins. So I'm just waiting for the temperature to heat up a little more, because I like to do sun dyeing, where I put the yarn in water and set it out in the sun and let the sun dye it. So it's not quite warm enough. Today was to get up to 86. But on the days when we're, 100 plus, those are the best days to do the dyeing, sun dyeing. So stay tuned. I'm going to be dyeing up. I'm going to start with some mini skeins. And like this one, it's just 10 grams. And let's see what we get with avocado, red onions, and yellow onions. So back to the sock. Crazy. So this is the Monstera sock. And again, like I said, there's my little markers to help me with my heel. You can place these every 10 rounds, every 20 rounds, every 50 rounds, whatever you like. I just do every 10 rounds. So, okay. So I have to start on the second sock. I'm not a big person with second sock syndrome, but I don't know. This year I'm getting really excited about casting on things. So I don't know. I may be developing just a little bit of second sock syndrome. And my last partial finished object is a new test knit that I just started, I think 2 days ago. And I am so in love with this too. I'm in love with everything, but. And this is from Northwoods Knit. And her name is Carly. Thank you, Carly, for selecting me for test knit. You know what you can always do is go on to the, if you're on Instagram, click on the person's bio link and sign up either for their newsletter, or they may have a link in there if you want to be a test knitter, so that you know, you can put in to become a test knitter. A lot of the different designers do that. So if you're interested in doing that, some of them have requirements that, you know, you have to have so much knitting experience. They have a form maybe that you have to fill out, or some of them, they're, you know, it's okay. They want people who are beginners to knit their beginner knitters, or to knit their patterns. But give it a try if that's something that you're interested in. I'm finding it very fascinating to do test knits. So this one is called Stardust Socks, and it comes in a cuff down or a toe up construction. I'm doing the cuff down. I've knit maybe like 2 or 3 pairs in cuff up. I really like cuff down construction. So here they are. And Carly has given permission that I can share the picture and share my work in progress. I just can't talk about the instructions, the pattern itself, and how it's made. But I like the color combination that she used in her sample. So I went deep stash diving. This was so deep, I needed oxygen thing that you use when you scuba dive. This was scuba stash diving. And I found this beautiful dark teal color, and hopefully the camera will pick it up. So right now I'm working on the heel flap, the gusset decrease. But it has, let me get that string out the way. It has ribbing, the top. Then it's got this cute little, neat little baubles. I've never made baubles before, and they're very easy to make. And another heel flap and gusset. So right now I've done the heel flap. I've turned the heel, and now I'm decreasing back down from where when you have to increase when you make this turn. So now I'm decreasing back down to get to my original stitch count, and that's not giving anything away in the pattern. That's how you make a heel flap and gusset. And then I will work the foot, and then in the foot, that's where the color work will come into play, is in the foot. So the colors that I'm using is this beautiful teal, and this is also, again, Cloudborn Highland sock twist. And this is called Petal. And it's just the softest pink. Again, it's Cloudborn's Highland twist, sock twist. And so the two of those together, I just think they're just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful for spring. I love it. So I am making these with oh, let me show you the yarn. This is Petal. And again, the color, the Cloudborn has been discontinued. And this is the dark teal. But I have quite a bit in my stash. So I am using, let's see, take it off of the blocker, be easier to see. I'm just dropping everything, man. I'm really beginning to think that, you know, there's something in that ginger ale. All right, here we go. So the method I am using, I started off with casting on 9-inch circulars, which is what I typically do. I'm using a 1.5 millimeter, which was suggested in the pattern, and 1.5 millimeter. That's not right. US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter. Okay. Which was the suggested size. I am a loose knitter, but with color work, I've been having I had the issues when I made the last pair of socks that were too tight. So hopefully this will be okay. I've tried it on. It's a little loose, but that's okay. But I'm using the 2 circular needle. So once I got past the cuff and started this portion of the leg, I switched to 2 circular needles. And I use this method or magic loop all the time. I really like the two circular needles. It's just like doing magic loop. I use two different needle types, so I can tell which needle is which. There are lots of tutorials out there to show you how to use 2 circulars. The one that I learned off on was from Denise with Earth Tones Girl, and some people will put like a little bit of nail polish on their needle. I just use 2 different brand needles. My favorite brand, of course, is the Chalgu red lace, and then this one is I believe it's Hiya. Let me check. Yes, it is Hiya Sharps, and they are sharp. And then the other one was my Chalgu. So if you want to try a different method until you find a method that you know that you really like, you know, try them out. You find different methods. And so I switched between magic loop and 2 circulars, you know, all the time. It took me a long time to learn how to knit socks, because when I was growing up, the only way to knit socks was with double pointed needles, and I just could not get the hang of it. And then about 7 years ago, I found a tutorial on YouTube, which was, I believe, called Simply Stitches. Excuse me. And she used 9-inch circulars and knit the whole sock on 9-inch circulars. So that's how I learned how to knit socks, and fell down that rabbit hole ever since. And then since then, I've been, you know, learning different methods. So that's what you have to do. Find what works for you. There's more than one way to knit something in most cases, I'm finding. Okay, so find what works for you. If you can knit with DPNs, my hat is tilted to you. Those magic sticks, I just could not get to work for me. But a circular needle, I'm all right with. So anyway, that is my latest test knit. I have to have one sock done by the by the 18th of May, I believe. I have to have one sock done. So that is that. Okay. So some of you have been commenting on telling me what's on your needles for spring, which has been really exciting. Thank you so very much. Let me set this down. Thank you so very much for that. I love hearing what people are saying. Someone's doing a beautiful shawl pattern that in crochet, and I do know how to crochet, and so I went in and favored that on Ravelry, and I thought, this might be something that I might want to give a try. So yeah, I still want to know what you got going on this spring and summer on your needles. Time for a sip. That was more like a big drink. Okay, so what else do I have? Oh, I have one more thing that I'm doing. It is not haven't started the actual, sorry about that. Haven't started the actual project yet, but I am learning how to do Tunisian crochet. And like I said, I learned how to crochet when I was 7. I actually learned how to crochet first before I learned how to knit. And I like crochet, but back in the day, crochet patterns, the designs and everything and the textures just wasn't there. It has evolved so much now that crochet work is just beautiful. And of course, everyone has fallen in love with the whole retro granny theme now, and they're making beautiful things with that. So I was bitten again by the crochet bug, and especially Tunisian crochet. And I bought this book last year. And this book is the Tunisian Crochet Handbook by Tony Lipsy. And she's Teal Yarn Crafts on Instagram and on Ravelry. And she has wonderful tutorials, and she makes wonderful things. I mean, look at that. So she actually has an academy, a crochet academy that she does every year. And it just started on May 1st. You have to sign up for it, but it's totally free. Lion Brand Yarns actually sponsors her so that she can do this for free. And one of the things that I wanted to make is this, it's called Aruba Tunic. And she's a designer, and this is her pattern. And so I've been taking her following her academy, and it's 3 weeks long, 4 weeks long, I believe. And every day you get a new tip. You watch it at your own discretion, your own time. So right now it's just doing, for me, it's like I needed a refresher course in crochet and just plain crochet. And she's talking about the needles, and the needles have changed since the needles that I used to have. That I think my needles are probably 30, 40 years old. So the needles have changed. You know, you've got ergonomic needles and all these different things talking about yarn substitutions. So it's really, really neat. I don't know if it's too late for you to join in, but I will leave that information below. So I'm having fun. So the last thing that you'll do is you will pick a project to work on. And my project is going to be this tunic. So I wanted to get a jump on learning how to do the Tunisian crochet. So that's what I've been doing. And so I've been working on a little swatch. So it's been living in my Black Pearl Magic bag. I covet this bag so much that I don't even use it. I'm so in love with it. This is the first time I've used it. This actual one was a collaboration with Madeline Tosh. and it came with a skein of Madeline Tosh yarn. But I put it in my drawer in my cubby, and it's like I'm just gonna just save this. And then when I was cleaning out my stash a couple of weeks ago, reorganizing, I said, you really need to use that bag. But it's so pretty. It's like, okay. So I'm feeling really excited. I said I'm going to use this to work on my swatch. So for those of you that don't know, a Tunisian crochet hook is a long crochet hook, much longer than your standard crochet hook. And this particular one even has a cable attached to it with a stopper on the end to hold your stitches. So if you're making something with a lot of stitches, and that tunic will have a lot of stitches, like over 200 stitches. So when you do Tunisian, all of your loops that you make when you crochet, you don't crochet them off. You carry them on the hook. So that's why you need a cable, and of course a stopper to keep your stitches from falling off. But this needle is a Chalgu, and it's a size US I or 9, and that is a 5.5 millimeter. I don't know if you can see that. So, and the yarn that the tunic is going to be made out of is by Lion Brand, and it's Kubu, which I have quite a bit of it in my stash. So I pulled out some because I do use Kubu when I make do some charity knitting, and so I use Kubu, so that's why I had some in my stash. So I was able to use it to start to swatch with. And this color is called Lilac, and it is a DK weight, and it is 50% cotton, 50% rayon from bamboo, and it's really, really soft. But here, make sure I hold it up right. Okay, yeah, that's the find out. Here is my swatch of Tunisian knitting. Now this stitch that I just learned is the Tunisian simple stitch, which is called a TSS. So I'm learning new lingo. And the tunic is made with a stitch called mesh stitch. So I'm going to start practicing with that on how to make the mesh stitch, and also how to change colors in Tunisian crochet, because you have to, that tunic is made with 2 different colors. So stay tuned. You'll be seeing more of my process. But it almost looks like knit. I love the texture. It's beautiful. So that's what I've been working on, in addition to my other projects that's been bringing me joy. I'm just so happy and so excited to learn all these new things. Okay. So stay tuned for my Tunisian knitting. Now, as you know, this year I said that I was going to be going into my stash, not buying any new yarn. Well, confessions will come later. But, and not buying any new patterns, and don't judge me, some more confessions will be coming. But what I'm about to share with you now is not my fault, okay? My mom, bless her heart, is working on a project, and she is using sparkle yarn, and she needed some more sparkle yarn, but the sparkle yarn that she was using is discontinued. So she wanted to do a new project using some sparkle yarn. So I went to, which I'm familiar with because I've bought before, I went to the Crafty Jackalope, which is Amanda. Hi, Amanda, from out of Canada. And she is a bling specialist. And I love bling, okay? And if you love bling, you should check out the Crafty Jackalope. So I placed an order. My mom had me to place an order for her. And then she says, and if you want something, go ahead and get it for you, and I'll buy it. And she goes, since you've got your channel, you need stuff to show on your channel. I said, Mom, I have plenty of yarn, which she has plenty of yarn too. A lot of times I go yarn shopping at her house. But so she says, no, that's my gift to you. So it's like, hey, I'm all about the gift. So anyway, I ordered some. I've been waiting for it to come in because Amanda had been out for a while of some of her bling. And this arrived. The packaging screams bling. So we're going to open this up together, okay? So I can show you. I don't consider this a true acquisition because, I don't know, I didn't acquire it. It's in my home, it's in my possession, but. So, Crafty Jackalope. And it's so cute. She's a card, thank you card. It says, Dear Brigitte, thank you for your order. Happy Make a Bling. Amanda. And the little tape says, Happy Knit a Bling. Oh, wow. And okay, so this is my mom's, and this is called King Cole Cosmos, and it's in the colorway Lunar. Look at that. Ooh, so it's black with like rainbow sequins. Isn't that pretty? And there it is. And the composition is, this is 25 grams. It's 76% glitter yarn, 24% paillette, approximately 429 yards, or 393 meters. I need to get used to saying meters as well. But it's the yarn is very thin, so it doesn't change like your gauge because you knit this with another yarn. So if you remember on a previous episode, I made my mom some fingerless gloves, like I think like 2 episodes ago, and I was using sequined yarn. It wasn't this brand, but same concept. Okay. So that's from my mom. And she got, I don't know, 4 or 5 of those. Oops, my hat. Losing my hat. Yeah. She got 4 of those. And then she got, this is red. And this is called Ella Ray Sequencity. Sequencity. That is so pretty. It's showing up, well, it is kind of showing up red. It is a beautiful red, nice Christmas red. And the thread is red with red sequins. And this is called Ruby, is the color. And it's funny because when I dropped these into my cart and I went back to get more, they didn't have any more. So this is 50 grams, 295 yards or 270 meters. And it is polyester. Yeah. So we got 5 of those. Five of those for Mom, and I think 2 of those are mine that she gave me. And then this one, this I bought for myself. Again, Ella Ray Sequencity. Can't say that. Sequencity. There you go. And this colorway is Flamingo. And I talked about, you know, my love of flamingos. Which is a pretty pink color, which is, again, purple's first cousin is pink, which I love. And again, this is another 50-gram ball, 295 yards, 270 meters. I got 5 of these. There is a sweater. I believe I'm going to do a lento. This is what I think I bought this for, to go with this and pair with some pink yarn that I have. So stay tuned. So I have 5 of those. Okay. So there you have it. That is my acquisition that I didn't purchase, kind of, sort of. Yes, because I'm on a yarn diet. But just because you read the menu, just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you can't read the menu. I think that's how that goes. Yeah. But I've slipped and ordered a few, you know, Happy Meals here and there. But anyway, I hope you are having a beautiful weekend, and I want you to have an outstanding week of making coming up. Do the things that bring you joy. Make your heart go pitter-patter. I know my heart is overjoyed. I've got so many things to do, so many things that I'm working on. I'm just totally excited. So thank you so much for your 1 year viewership. Thank you for being here with me today. As always, please be careful, stay healthy, be safe, and I love you so very much. Mwah.